life is short and we never know what's around the corner, especially in my job. Don't sit there and think, like I said before, someday, because someday is not going to come. You need to take your life by your hands and say, I'm going to go for it. And when I was younger, I would have said, oh, I've got plenty of time ahead of me. But it's incredible how quick it goes. I'm Sarah Cleaver, and you're entering A World Gone Good.
Well, hello, my name's Steve, and this is the place where we shine the light on everyday people making good happen each and every day. Welcome to World Gone Good. Our goal here remains the same, everybody, to inspire and uplift you. And in doing so, we hope you will inspire and uplift others around you, friends, family, neighbors, your community. One of the easiest and fastest ways to do this is by sharing our show with all those folks I just named. Spread this here good around with a post on your social media account or text your favorite episode right to your bestie with a note saying you will love this, because they will. Share the good. And for doing so, as always, we say thank you. Okay, so question, are you feeling stuck in your routine? Get up, go to work, come home, make dinner, watch TV, go to sleep, rinse, and repeat. Sound familiar? And do you ever wonder, is this it? Today, we journey back to the UK to meet a woman who had a life-changing epiphany when she turned 50 years old and asked herself that very same question. Is this it? Sarah Cleaver asked herself that. She was like, is this it? And then she realized, nope. And so she took a chance, a little leap, and I am talking a less than $50 per month little leap. And it opened up her entire world, literally. Once she found her own answer, she realized she wasn't alone. She knew in her heart there had to be many other people out there feeling the same thing, especially women 50 plus. So she decided to share her good message, which is live life now. And she didn't just share it through words, but she did it by taking action and showing the women around her, you can take that same action yourself. Here comes Sarah Cleaver to share her good story. So I am on Instagram, as I often am. RB is whichever proper English we'd like to use. And I'm going around and I'm always finding people that just are interesting to me. And I found you, Sarah. And what was interesting to me about you, and this is where I want to start, is you put up a post, and there was a lot more to it, okay? But you put it up on January 9th. I'm sure this was possibly a New Year's resolution kind of thing you were going for. But you had a picture of yourself, done dimming era.
The done dimming era. Yes.
That's the one.
Yes.
What talk to me. What's that about?
So I am a lady in my mid-50s, and that all came about because 2 years ago, I'm a nurse, a cancer nurse, and I got burnt out and I needed to have 6 months off. And during that time, I needed to reflect and say, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? Do I really want to do this? Do I want something else? And menopause kicked in at the same time, as it does. And I was like, hell, I need to do something for me. And I'd read all of these things about the midlife crisis that women have. And I was like, no, I'm not here in my mid-50s going, oh, that's it. I'm going to revive myself, if you like. So after sort of lots of writing things on paper, I came up with the done dimming era, because I am done shining my light. And I just sort of launched my sort of online travel business alongside my nursing. And I wanted to help like-minded women in their 50s to shine their light more. And that's how the done dimming era came about.
Do you feel you spent too much time playing small?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As a nurse for nearly, well, 26 years now, I had my head down, enjoyed my job, and just thought, "Oh, that's it really till I retire, just working my, guts out," and wanted a bit of a change. And I think I'd been the person that was a bit shy. I know that's hard to believe now, but I wasn't very confident, and I think I'd lost that along the way. And I was like, I need to get myself on Instagram for my business, and I'm gonna have to get uncomfortable and do this. So that sort of spurred me on to as a nurse, you wanna help people, and I wanted to help in my other business, like-minded women. So absolutely, I played small.
I love that you use the word uncomfortable. It's so hard, especially as we get older. Look, I'm 56, and I just made a move from Santa Barbara, California to London. I have a
Wow.
I have a 5-year visa, and we just said, "Let's go for it." And we sold our house and we moved here. And I'm not gonna lie, everybody, I've been very uncomfortable at times, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I feel like as we get older, we settle. And then we go, "Well, why didn't I take that trip? Why didn't I write that book? Why didn't I drink that bottle of wine, take that adventure? Why am I afraid to be uncomfortable?"
Mm. Absolutely. And you need to get uncomfortable. I mean, we're only on this world once. And in my job as a cancer nurse, I see people young pass away, people old pass away, and they say, "Oh, I'd wish I'd done this." So that was probably a bit of my motivation. And yes, we always say, "Oh, I'll do that someday when I've done this, when I get a bit more confident, when the children go back to school." That someday never comes. So you need to take that action now, and you just need to take little uncomfortable steps. And that's what I had to do when I started my talking to camera reels, is just get uncomfortable. I always say to people, "Oh, how did you do this?" And it's like, well, when we started walking, when we were young, we got up, we fell down again, and we just got up again and tried again. We didn't learn to swim by sitting on the side of the swimming pool. We didn't learn to ride a bike by watching the bike on the drive. And it's that same sort of thing. You've got to keep trying. It doesn't come overnight. You just have to keep trying. And then one day you're like, "Oh, that's a bit more comfortable." And then you take the next step. And that's how I explain it to people.
It's amazing. And let's talk about you being a nurse because my husband's a nurse, 30 years.
Wow.
Nurses are the true heroes, everybody, because not just because I live with one. Doctors are awesome, but nurses are the superheroes. Have you felt like a superhero? Have you loved your nursing time? Have you regretted the nursing time?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I didn't start my nursing till later in life. I think I was sort of like 32 after, again, being in the corporate world, had a fantastic job with a fantastic salary, but that didn't float my boat. And I'd always wanted to be a nurse. And then I thought, "Oh, I don't really like blood. I don't really like needles. I'm never going to be able to do that." Because my mum was a great inspiration. She would have been a great nurse. And then I left the corporate world thinking, again, I wanted something different. Started nursing mid-30s, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been tough, but I think a good nurse knows that they wanna be a nurse from when they're very young, and I think I've put some pictures on Instagram of me aged 4 on my nan's step with my little nurse's uniform, and yeah, I know that I absolutely love it. Just being with people when they're, especially for me as a cancer nurse, you're with people at their most vulnerable moment. And also their best moments. We have, fortunately, patients who are cured, they have their cancer treatment, and you see them, years later. And yes, their life has changed a bit because I think when you've had cancer, it does. And you think, "Oh God, I was part of that." And they send you emails and letters, "Thank you for your help," get lots of thank you cards. And that is the job where I don't think you get that. Yes, you get thanks in a corporate job, but from people that have been at their lowest, and then they send you a card or an email or they give you a hug. That is everything to me, and I absolutely love it.
And you're an NHS nurse, is that correct?
I am an NHS nurse, yeah, I have been through and through, yeah, absolutely love it.
For people around the world who don't know what the NHS is, fill them in on what the NHS is and tell them what the difference between NHS and a private practice would be.
Well, I know in America, because I do go to Florida a lot because I have a house out there. I believe that in America you have to, you pay a lot of money monthly to have an insurance policy. Over here, if you have anything wrong with you at all, you have care that is free at the point of access, and that is, from when you're born to when you die. So if you need anything, a hip replacement, some cancer treatment, you want to go to A&E because, your toes hanging off, that is all taken care of. And that is done without asking, can I have your credit card? And that is the best thing, I think, worldwide. We are, known it for the NHS in the UK. And it is just a wonderful institution for people young and old who need any healthcare in any stage of their life.
Okay, so let's talk for a second about where you are, because before we started recording, we talked about this a little bit. It's exciting. Where do you live? Because I'm in London. Where are you?
Oh, not far from you then. So I'm in Berkshire. So if you're in London, we must be, well, depending if you get on the M25, really we're probably about an hour away. So we're on the southeast. I'm in Berkshire. Uh, some of your listeners probably know like Windsor Castle. And yeah, about 20 minutes from there. I actually used to work in Windsor before I was a nurse when I had my corporate job. That's where I met my husband. But yeah, always in Windsor. Absolutely love it. So yeah, in the southeast, it's nice and sunny today. So long may that continue.
Yes, it just finally the cold snap has finally snapped, and it warmed up. I went out this morning for a walk in Hyde Park.
Oh, lovely.
Couldn't believe I was like, I put on my winter jacket, and I don't need my winter jacket. How delightful!
Yeah. In the UK, there's some lovely places. If you get a nice sunny day, there are some amazing places in the UK up and down, to visit. Even on the coast. I'm not near the sea, unfortunately, but along the sea, there are some lovely places to visit.
Now, you already touched on a little bit. You started your own business. It's an online travel business, but you have a little bit of a hook for it because you're kind of embracing women 50 plus through your business.
Yes, I think that was my niche because I think it helps, when you launch a business on Instagram, you need sort of some branding, don't you? And who you're going to sort of really zone in or niche down on. You could do mums, you can do um, older people. And I'm sort of thinking, well, I've got all this experience midlife. I've been burnt out and now I'm sort of rebuilding myself a little bit. So I was like, yeah, let's niche down on the mid 50 woman because an interesting fact that I found out is that actually the biggest group of entrepreneurs are women in their 50s.
I love
And
it.
that really shocked me. And I was like, oh wow, right. I need to zone in on this. So I think that was a trigger as well to like, oh, that could be a really good niche because I've got that experience. I'm not a mum. I'm a cat mum, but I haven't got any children. So yeah, I'm thinking women mid-50s who are perhaps menopausal, done dimming, children have gone to university. They're thinking about that big retirement pot that we all worry about, whether we've got enough to, money to when we do retire to travel. So yeah, that was my trigger was yeah, 50 plus women. Let's have a bit of that and let's help them.
And tell us about the business itself.
Well, it works perfectly alongside anybody working, but equally we've got people doing it full time. So you basically have a travel platform and you can either book travel for yourself. So we have access to like over 100 suppliers you can possibly imagine to book any travel, whether that's flights, airport lounges, hotels, big travel packages, cruises, excursions, anything in the UK to do with sports events, music concerts, Disney tickets. I mean, I go to Disney a lot. You can book, anything Disney, and you get that commission back. So anybody booking travel themselves online, they're giving away about 7 to 24% commission. So if you have your own travel platform, you book your own travel and you get that commission back. If you were to then book for yourself, family and friends, and then you wanted to sort of do a bit of a travel business and advertise yourself and as an independent travel agent, you can make commission booking for other people. And we certainly have people in the business who are doing that full time, mums who didn't want to go back to work after they had a child, older people who are like, yeah, I want to sort of give up my job now, and they're doing that full time. So it's just, I do travel a little bit and it just helps me take my mind off nursing. And that's why I did it originally, to say, right, I just want something else to take that off, the stress of the daily job, and just do something for me and perhaps build a bit of an income on the side for, things for me, or to have a little pot for travel or when I retire.
Now, the women who come and work with you and for you, are they extroverted? Are they introverted? Are they
Mixture.
surprised? It's a mixture. Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are they surprised, and are you surprised at who's coming to you and how easy or difficult, if that makes sense, this new type of business model is?
I think with travel, I mean, who doesn't love travel? It's one of the most lucrative industries in the world, isn't it? Everybody travels at some stage, whether it's in the UK, abroad, or they've got dreams. I mean, and you don't have to travel. You can just book for people and make the commission. But, there are people I've found who absolutely book all the holidays for the family. They love doing all that research, don't they? They love having like a 24/7 itinerary, what time they're getting up, especially if they go to Disney in Florida. They need to know when they're getting up, when they're doing this ride, where they're having dinner, what's happening for the next 2 weeks. So people that absolutely love booking can niche down, and we certainly have people in the company that are Disney experts. Somebody might be ski expert. Somebody might do, which is a big rising area at the moment, is cruises. People can niche down if they're sort of experts or they've got experience in that. But you don't need to have any experience at all, because we have some fantastic training on booking travel, learning all the different countries. But equally, we also get training on having your own business. And the biggest thing for me has been we get mindset training, because anybody worried about starting their own business, and it's a very small startup fee. It's £156 and then £46 a month. Now, you tell me what business you can set up knowing that every month your fee is only going to be £46. Because anybody that's got a business, bricks and mortar in a shop, they have to pay insurance, they have to pay staff. This is a small fee to have your own business, and the income stream is huge. And certainly some people have retired from booking travel full time. So people come going, oh, I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not techie, or what shall I do? But we get all of that training, and slowly I've seen people evolve and really flower and flourish. And they're so happy doing this because they're enjoying what they're doing, and they've got the confidence in running their own business. And, even when they have left their own job, they're running their own day. And the biggest thing is women who can pick up their own children from school. They don't have to ask for annual leave. They can either, go when the school rings and says, oh, can you pick up little Johnny? He's sick. They don't have to get someone else to do it. They're there for their children. And to me, that's a great thing as well.
Okay, let's talk about that. A couple things you just said here. First of all, limiting beliefs.
Mm.
Powerful stuff right there. Again, it's like we talk ourselves out of things. And even if what you just said is so interesting to me, it's like £46 a month. Well, that's not that. I mean, I pay that in, I'm sure, one pub night, or I go way over that, but you know what I'm saying? That's nothing.
Yeah.
But too good to be true kind of people thinking that. What's the angle? Kind of people thinking that it can't be that easy. Limiting beliefs. What do you say to all that?
I thought it was. I was like, this is too good to be true. And then
Right?
I
That's what I'm
found,
saying.
yeah. And then I was like, well, actually, the company started in America, in Atlanta. And so worldwide, there's 145,000 people doing it. We're in America, UK, we're in Ireland, we're in Turks and Caicos Island in the Caribbean. We're opening up in the Middle East soon. We're hoping to open up in Europe. I had never heard of it before, and I was like, And then I did lots of research, because that's the type of person I am, and I was like, well, if you don't make any money, you get 30 days where you get all your money back. You can stop at any time. And I was like, well, what have I got to lose? And a coffee over here in London must be £4 or £5. So if everyone's having a coffee every day,
Right.
you've covered your £46 a month, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, exactly, and I love that there's a buyer's remorse. There's a 30-day plan just in case
Yeah,
on 46 pounds, which is incredible.
yeah. And I think, yes, there are, limiting beliefs, I think, and especially for women in their 50s, there is a lot of limiting beliefs and doubt and confidence because of the menopause and just lifing.
Yeah, life experience has dealt you so many for all of us has dealt us good cards and some bad cards, and we get to a point of like, because I know back in my 20s, I said yes to everything, right? And then
Yeah.
my 30s, I was like, "Oh, well, maybe." By the time I hit 40, I was like, "Is it past 8 p.m.? No." Is it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the minimum? No. How long do we have to stand in this line? Or as we say here, how long is the queue? Uh-uh.
Absolutely. And I'm the same. I mean, I go to work, I come home, you do the chores, don't you get the dinner, you go for a walk, maybe in the nice weather. And I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. But you need to grab life now. And yes, it's really hard because, some of my reels that I've done, I talk about all the midlife problems. And I have had so many comments from people who are like, "Oh, thank you for this message. I've gone back to school and I'm doing a master's." One of them was becoming a DJ, and I think she was 60. I've got a divorce and I'm really happy. I'm getting a divorce and I'm going to be happy. And I'm like, all these people are really opening up to me that they've obviously pinpointed something as well in their life that, they're like done dimming as well. And it amazes me how many messages I'm getting from people I've, never spoken to. And they're like, oh, that was really inspirational, your talk this morning. Because I normally do my little talk in the car just before I go to work with my little flask of tea, because that's my little zone of half an hour before I go into work. And that's what I sort of started doing, talking in the car. And I just get loads of messages from people going, oh, that was really helpful, or yes, I've got a little bit of confidence. What do you suggest? And again, to me, that is really inspiring that women are getting that impetus, that excitement again to say, oh, yes, the children have gone off to university. Yeah, not really enjoying my job. I'm going to go and do this.
Yeah. You're connecting. Yeah.
Because yeah, it's connection. And actually, women, if you think, these women have gone through so much in their life, they've had children, perhaps they've had a career, they've got so much resilience and so much experience that they're like, "Wow, yeah, I've got this experience. I just need to." I think you hide a bit, and then you just need to bring it out to the surface like I have. I don't like the word people say, "Oh, you're reinventing yourself." Well, no, because I'm still the same person. I'm probably bringing that younger version up that was a bit more confident to the surface and working on it a little bit with confidence and all those little limiting beliefs that we have, and saying, hell yeah, I can do this. Yes, it's going to be a bit uncomfortable. And yes, I might need to fail forward. But hell, what's the worst that can happen?
Right. And I've said this on here before many times. I love a no. If somebody says no, no, thank you, not interested, not for me, great.
Yeah.
And if somebody says yes, that's great too. Yes, I want to be part of that. Yes, I'm on board. Great. The thing that always drives me personally bonkers is nothing, zero response, right? And I accept that over time that's a no, right? Because I learned a few years ago. It took me a while, everybody, but I learned a few years ago to stop chasing people, and it just reaches a point of just like, no, I'm not chasing anymore. But when I get no response, that's the thing of just waiting out there, and I think that ties into, in some ways, just a fear of, am I being seen? Do I exist?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I matter? And what's so powerful about everything you're doing is you're one of those people that I love because you, like I did for a very long time, I had a full-time job and I did this podcast, and I wrote 3 books. Well, 2 books at the time, and I wrote the 3rd one later. But I did those things at the same time because I taught myself that, a kind of a good bridge is when you do have the job that keeps everything, secure, and you can go out and take those other leaps.
Absolutely. And we call it ghosting, oh, I sent him an email and they ghosted me. And I'm like, well, there's how many other million people on Instagram? How many people out in the world? They've obviously got, their own issues personally. Let's, you know, park that and let's move on to someone who does want help, is interested and ready, to take that leap or wants my help. So yeah, it's hard because if it's rejection, but it's not rejection. It's just like, it's a no, let's move on to the next one. And that is hard. I think people worry about being rejected, but I don't think it's personal that they're rejecting them. It's just, it's not right for them at the moment. Something's else has come along and it's not important to them at the moment. So yeah, just move on is what I'd say.
Can we talk a minute about cruising? Cruises?
Cruises. I know it's a big thing over here or, worldwide. But yeah, it used to be for old people.
And the old people now are retiring on cruises. Have you read about this?
Yes, I have. Yes, older people who have financially stable, and I can see it. Who wants to go into a nursing home when you can spend a month on a cruise with everything at your beck and call? Great food, stopping off at different islands or different, areas, and having, on board nursing and care. And absolutely amazing. It's really taken off. Cruising is a big thing for young people now. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, and it's also just amazing to me, these couples who are retired, who are like, they're going port to port and they've got their whole 6 months to a year set up and they're living full time on a cruise and then they're seeing the world and think about it, like everything's there. Their medical's there, their food is there, everything's there.
Entertainment.
Entertainment, exercise, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, some of these ships have got like 4 or 5 swimming pools on, haven't they?
Yeah, right. It is really, really amazing to me. It's such a something you don't think about, but it's genius. It's genius in a way.
Moving hotel, isn't it? Just
It
with a
is.
different view every day. Absolutely incredible how cruising has taken off. It really is.
Couple last questions to wrap up. Here's a question we ask some guests, which is if you could go back to 18, 21, 25-year-old Sarah, what would today's Sarah say to her?
Wow. I would say when you're in your 80s, have you got any regrets? There's a poem, and I did an Instagram about this. It's Mary Oliver. What would you do with this one wild and precious life? So you need to write a letter now to yourself when you're 80 going, have you got any regrets? And I would say you just have to go out there and try it because life is short and we never know what's around the corner, especially in my job. Don't sit there and think, like I said before, someday, because someday is not going to come. You need to take your life by your hands and say, I'm going to go for it. And when I was younger, I would have said, oh, I've got plenty of time ahead of me. But it's incredible how quick it goes. So I would say, Sarah, have no regrets when you're in your 80s. My mum's 91 and she has no regrets. She's fit as a fiddle. She's actually over with me today. We're doing some gardening and she has a great outlook. And I think I want to be like her when I'm 91, having no regrets and just living life to the full.
Where do people find you online? How do they follow you? And how do they find out about becoming a travel agent?
You can follow me on Instagram, and it's just very simple. I am Sarah, Sarah, and that's Cleaver. So I am Sarah Cleaver. That's what I post on nearly every day.
And the final two questions are questions we ask every single guest for over 240 something shows. So here we go. Question number one is, who inspires you?
My mum has to be my mum. 91, as I said, living life to the full. My dad died 13 years ago. She actually, she didn't sit back and say, oh, that's it. She embraces life. She's out every day. She's doing her exercises every day. She's got lots of friends. She inspires me the most because she's just one of those people who lights up a room when she comes in and people just, I can see it. People she's like a magnet. She just talks to anybody, and it's a great conversation, and she's so funny. I love her to bits.
And the final question is not a question. It's simply a statement to finish. Any way you like, anything that comes to mind. Goes like this. Tell me something good.
It's time to learn that light back on brighter than ever. Reclaim your space and your desires and your dreams. You're not invisible. You are invincible, and your wisdom and experience are your superpowers.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your good with us. Next time on World Gone Good.
You know what you want to do, very young, like me, and you just work, and I mean, it's a real outlier place I was in, and I was so grateful for it because, you know, so many people didn't know what they wanted to do. I've always been more ostentatious and just more, you know, theatrical and more rock and roll on stage.
Prepare for our 250th Good episode where we celebrate with our quite possibly biggest and goodest guest yet. Here are some clues to her identity. She has been Grammy nominated. She's an American Music Award winner, a Broadway star, and was even a semifinalist on The Masked Singer, who has conquered the top 20 on the Billboard Hot 100 17 times. Who is this oh-so-good person who used to just happen to be my neighbor back in Santa Barbara, California? Any good guesses? We're going to keep it a little bit of a mystery. You're going to find out who she is on our next episode where we celebrate number 250. Until then, be good.